With the release of Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemon in Generation 8, we saw the reimagined fan favorite and people's champ, Machamp, make its return in Gigantamax form. Machamp brings its signature new move, G-Max Chi-Strike, an interesting and competitively underwhelming move that I think is underrated and often slept on. But I think the true potential lies with its ability to boost crit chance by 1 stage for both Machamp and its ally. Now before we go too far down the team building rabbit hole, we need to understand how crit is achieved, and what Pokemon movesets, abilities, and items are best suited to build around G-Max Machamp and G-Max Chi-Strike. Critical hit odds are divided into 5 stages. Stage 1 being the base of every physical attack and special attack that does damage. Stage 1 crit odds are 1 in 24 or 4.1%. Stage 2 crit odds are 1 in 8 or 12.5%. Stage 3 crit odds are 1 of 2 or 50%. Stage 4 and 5 crit odds are 100% guaranteed critical hit. With that being said, let's look at some ways we can elevate and stack our crit odds to get the best bang for our buck. First, I'll talk Pokemon. More specifically, the ability Super Luck. Right now, the only Pokemon in Sword and Shield that is outfitted with Super Luck is Togekiss and Unfezant. The ability Super Luck automatically raises critical hit ratio by 1 stage, making the minimum odds for either of these Pokemon to crit 12.5%. Next, we'll talk about the ability from Swoobat called Simple. Stat changes, whether good or bad, have double its effect on this Pokemon. Coupled with G-Max Chi-Strike, Swoobat can gain an additional 2 stages of crit chance to place its odds of crit at 50% off 1 G-Max Chi-Strike. Next, we'll talk items. As it stands, in Gen 8, there are only 3 items that can improve the odds of a critical hit, and arguably only 2 of them that the juice is actually worth the squeeze. This being the Scope Lens and Razor Claw, which boosts the crit stat 1 stage when held by a Pokemon. The other item is the Lansat Berry, which gains focus energy effect when your Pokemon is at 1/4 health. In my opinion, this item is the least effective in comparison to the Scope Lens and the Razor Claw. The last way we can increase our overall odds is specific moves. There is a large array of moves in the game that actually boost the likeliness that a critical hit can occur. These moves are automatically a Stage 2 or 12.5% odds of critical hit when used with no other factor. But combined with G-Max Chi-Strike, using these specific moves on powerful Pokemon can produce desired crit effects. Before we move on, I'm going to talk about the move Focus Energy and Laser Focus. Focus Energy, when used, improves the crit chance by 2 stages, which means if a Pokemon can pull this off, at a minimum, it will have a 50% chance of crit. The move Laser Focus ensures that a critical hit will happen on the next turn. Just for example, so we're all on the same page, I'll take an Unfezant. Given no other factors, Unfezant's base chance for critical hit is 4.1%. When outfitted with the ability Super Luck, its base crit chance becomes 12.5%. Give it the held item, Scope Lens, and further boost our odds to 50%. If we attack using a higher crit chance move, like Air Cutter, we are guaranteed a stab critical hit 100% of the time. Now that we understand how we can improve our crit odds, let's look at our best weapons in the arsenal. Sniper Pokemon really overhaul the damage from a critical hit, with the majority of Pokemon having access to moves that have higher odds of achieving a critical hit. Some of my favorite picks of these Sniper Pokemon include Barbicle and Drapion. Barbicle being a little on the slow side, but with very respectable bulk and attack stat, with access to Stab Stone Edge and other crit enhancing moves like Shadow Claw and Night Slash, with access to some interesting setup moves like Iron Defense, Helping Hand, Shell Smash, Swords Dance, and even Laser Focus. I believe Barbicle would make a formidable ally to G-Max Machamp with many different sets you could run. Drapion is in a similar boat. Although its attack pales in comparison, it makes up for it by its mad decent 90 base speed. Drapion gets access to Stab Crit boosted Cross Poison and Night Slash, while still sporting staples like Knockoff and Earthquake, and good status moves like Whirlwind, Toxic Spikes, Taunt, Swords Dance, Iron Defense, and the RNGesus move himself, Acupressure. To me, Octillery and Kingdra are just kinda meh. Kingdra is definitely better off as a Rain Sweeper. It also doesn't get access to any moves that will up the odds for a crit, and Octillery, although having great mixed attacker potential, doesn't have odds boosting attacks either. And with a base speed of only 45, it's better suited inside Trick Room. Not saying that both Chi-Strike and Trick Room aren't made for each other, but you're asking for the planets to align with that type of setup. Closing out our Sniper Mons, we have the Gen 8 starter in Inteleon. Inteleon definitely a frail but fast and powerful pick with a base of 120 speed and 125 special attack. In my opinion, Inteleon is a prime candidate for a Focus Sash. Since it has access to both Focus Energy and the crit boosted Snipe Shot, Focus Sash would allow Inteleon to set up Focus Energy, then turn around with 100% crit odds on a move that cannot be redirected, and pose a dangerous set of reverse sweeping an entire team. Next, I want to talk about Technician and Skill Link Pokemon. Why? Because in a sense, you gotta play to win. What I mean by that is there's definitely a case to be made with frequency and critical hits. With G-Max Chi-Strike increasing crit odds, Technician powering up weaker multi-hit moves, or Skill Link maxing out multi-hit moves ups our odds for crits in terms of frequency. The only Skill Link Pokemon in Sword and Shield right now is Chincino and Cloyster, both mad decent picks for Chi-Strike team building. Cloyster, my personal Skill Link pick, has more than enough physical bulk to tank with a decent 70 base speed and 95 attack. With access to Stab 5-hit Icicle Spear and also Pin Missile and Rock Blast, we can definitely make good use of the frequency. After one G-Max Chi-Strike, if we threw a Scope Lens on Cloyster and send some Icicle Spears downrange, we would have 50% crit odds on a stab move. With odds like that, even hitting 2 to 3 crits would do substantial damage. Imagine tanking and Cloyster receiving 2 boosted G-Max Chi-Strikes with 100% crit odds. Cloyster also has access to utility moves like Shell Smash, Life Dew, Rapid Spin, and a priority stab move in Icicle Shard. Moving on, our Technician pool has quite a few picks. However, I want to turn the spotlight on 3 choice picks in both Scyther and Scizor line, as well as Hitmontop, specifically because of their access to Focus Energy. Hitmontop has a very decent spread in both physical and special defense. Its speed, decent. HP, absolutely abysmal. Hitmontop having access to Focus Energy and both Technician, Triple Axle, and Stab, Triple Kick makes it an interesting pick for this team. Hitmontop also pulls priority Technician moves like Bullet Punch, Quick Attack, and Stab Mach Punch, and has loads of utility picks in Sucker Punch, Fake Out, Coaching, Helping Hand, Rapid Spin, and Wide Guard. Razor Claw and Turn 1 Dynamax Chi-Strike can turn Hitmontop into a Stab Technician Critmontop with Triple Kick, or risk it for the biscuit and go for Focus Energy and maybe Technician Life Orb to bust through opposing Pokemon and pick up mad damage on priority moves. Moving on to Scyther, we have a very good attack and speed stat of 110 and 105, with OK bulk in both 80 special defense and defense with a 70 HP. But what I do love about this Pokemon is we can easily throw an Eviolite on it with Roost and really up the bulk and sustain, allowing us to go for a Focus Energy safely. Pair Scyther up with the G-Max Machamp, and after a turn 1 Dynamax Chi-Strike and Focus Energy, we're looking at 100% crit odds on a Stab Technician Dual Wing Beat. Scyther also gets access to Cross Poison, Night Slash, Psycho Cut, Rock Smash, X Scissor, and very good utility in Tailwind, Swords Dance, Roost, Baton Pass, and Technician boosted priority Quick Attack. In my opinion, we can play the EV investment like full attack and speed or full speed and HP and have good results getting more out of its bulk and natural ability to do crazy damage. With Scizor, however, we give up a lot of our overall speed for a 130 attack and some better bulk and the opportunity to get embarrassed by a Heat Wave. I truly believe the move here is to go for a Focus Energy along with the Chi-Strike and hopefully don't turn 1 die to a Heat Wave or any other fire move for that matter and straight up try to 100% crit chance Technician boosted Stab Life Orb Bullet Punch. One punch, Caveman run over every Pokemon that can't resist it. Does he have other stuff? Yes. But who cares? At this point, you're firing on all cylinders, and the move is to smack the absolute dog shit out of everything with the spiciest bullet punch in the game. You may as well put no investment into speed and go full HP and attack, and priority move One Punch Scissor trying to one-hit KO everything. Serene Grace can be an underlooked option for achieving critical hits. Although the only 2 Pokemon in the game right now that have Serene Grace are Chansey and Togekiss. Serene Grace doubling the secondary move's effect means when using crit boosted moves like Togekiss and Air Cutter, you automatically have a 50% chance of achieving a stab critical hit. Let's shift gears a little bit from VGC doubles to singles and talk about Focus Energy Baton Pass. Right now as it stands, there are a few Pokemon who can pull this off, with my personal picks going to Scyther, Swoobat, and Umbreon. I like Swoobat for the doubles Baton Pass. The turn 1 Protect plus G-Max Chi-Strike getting 2 stacks of crit chance due to the ability Simple, then using its superior speed to Baton Pass into another big threat like One Punch Scissor. So risks you run doing this is an opposing turn 1 Dynamax or a stat dropping move you may pass off unintentionally. We've already talked Scyther, and on paper, Scyther looks pretty good at setting himself up for crazy damage with Focus Energy, Stab Technician, Dual Wing Beat, or even Baton Passing Out to set up another Pokemon. The fact that we can run Eviolite and Roost, and run Eevees a couple different ways, sort of makes him a crit Swiss Army knife that I think can be viable in both singles and doubles. Umbreon is a huge defensive chonk that boasts a whopping 130 special defense, 110 defense, and 95 health stat, while ensuring mutual destruction with Synchronize and an immunity to Prankster status moves. Although a bit on the slower side, its access to sustain moves like Wish can keep it in the fight. Umbreon is definitely my top pick for singles Baton Pass Focus Energy support Pokemon. I'll close out the video with my underrated pick, being Adaptability Crawdon, which makes good use of its ability by using crit boosted stab moves like Crab Hammer, Night Slash, and Aqua Jet. Set him up with a Focus Energy Baton Pass and have 50% crit on a Stab Adaptability Aqua Jet, or 100% crit with Stab Adaptability Crab Hammer or Night Slash. Throw a Choice Band on and play the odds to try to priority Steamroll with Aqua Jet, or maybe Assault Vest and Dynamax to improve survivability, or throw on a Scope Lens and hit 100% crit Dynamax moves backed with an adaptability boost. For that kind of damage, I'm pretty sure I can't even count that high. I think there is some untapped and underrated value to Machamp G-Max Chi-Strike and full crit builds. I'm going to put together a team and play the October ladder in both singles and doubles, so stay tuned. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe or follow me on Twitter with Stank at Turn1Dynamax. I'll leave the invite to our Discord server down in the description of the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.